Hey, how's it going, everyone? We have this 21-inch commercial Exmark here. The owner says it's making a weird noise when the blades are engaged. I don't know what that means, so let's go ahead and figure it out. Or, I know what it means, I don't know what the noise is. So, here's the thing. It didn't make a weird noise in the clutch. In fact, it sounds perfect. What I did notice, though, there is a weird noise coming from the wheels. So that could be the problem. Kind of sounds like there's like a rock or something in the wheels. But I'll go ahead and put it on the table, we'll take off the wheels, and we'll see what's going on with that. Can't really narrow it down like entirely of which wheel it is, so we're going to try this one first. Kind of sounds like it's coming from the side, but to be honest, it could be either one. It's going to be one of those days. Notice the little shield on the back is kind of not doing so great. Notice anything weird about that? I'll take a brass hammer and put that back on there a little bit. Oh, this wheel doesn't want to come off. Really don't like it when this happens because everything's plastic and you can't really use heat on plastic. I'm going to spend a little time work on getting that unstuck. I got it off. Unfortunately the bearing had to stay, but yeah, it is what it is. But I don't know how well you can see, but I feel like there's, I mean, I can't really even see, so it's going to be hard for you. But I feel like there's a bearing that is completely shot in here. So that could very well be our problem. The problem is we need to take this bearing off, or do we? Maybe not. Now, usually, you shouldn't be able to move the transmission very easily. I didn't really check if the transmission itself was working because I was assuming it was going to be a clutch. But in the meantime, we do definitely have a bad bearing. I hate these clips. There we go. Once one side gets stuck, it's really hard to take. There we go. Yeah, that is a bad bearing. So, I don't know if I need to take this off though. I also don't want to ruin this one. This bearing isn't bad at all. In fact, it's pretty decent. But if I can't take it out, it's going to be a wee bit of a problem. I wonder if I have a small enough puller that can just take that out. Let me take a look. So, found out that the bearing on both sides is broken, the one that's in there. So, we have a fairly substantial problem. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put the wheels and everything back on because I need my table for something else. And at that point in time, what I'm going to need to end up doing is I need to find new bearings. So I did find out that the part number is going to be 52-250. There is also an older part number 109-8020, but apparently that's not the right one you want to use. Anyway, so there's also a Sten's part number of 230-396. Or you can find a bearing that has an inner diameter of 1/2 inch, the outside diameter of 1 1/8 inches, with a height of 5/16. The Sten's has all that except it has a height of 0.310 of an inch, which is like so close, it's negligible. So we need to find one that's like that. There is a local hardware store around here that might have one that I can just go walk in and see if they have. I very well might do that right now, and then, but before I do that, I want to see if the transmission works. I'm not going to do that on camera because if the transmission doesn't work, well then we need a whole new transmission. I'll buy the bearings and the transmission online all at the same time. There's no point of buying it separately. So I think we're going to continue on with that, but just know that if you run into a situation 1/2 inch by 1/8 inch outside diameter with a 5/16 width or something very, very close to the height of it, excuse me, not width, but height. So on the other end of this, there was a clip. Kind of annoying to get at, you have to tip it over. Got it done, didn't record it though, you know what clips look like. Anyway, here's the problem. The bearing is still in there. This was supposed to be the other bearing, and there's supposed to be like little balls in there, obviously, and a cover. Well, that has long since disintegrated. But the problem is, this is a press fit, and it's rusty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a torch. Now I'm going to use MAP gas because it's hot. There is a, well, maybe not on this one, might have worn away. The other one had this little bushing in here, but it, like I said, worn away. It's important, but not super important. The owner needs it pretty quickly, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. But if you do have it still, you should probably not burn it. So this might take a little while. I'm going to get it hot. I'm going to hold it with pliers so don't burn yourself, and then I'm going to quench it, which it basically means that I need to get it cold with water to the point where it's burning hot and then it's cold enough for me to touch it with my hand. At that point in time, the last one actually started to come out by itself, and when I'm warming it up, I'm not warming the interior, I'm warming the exterior because I want it to expand and hopefully break the seal with the bearing. Wish me luck. So that worked amazingly well. So let me explain what I did. Got the outside very hot. I'm using MAP gas, so it doesn't take too long. If you're using propane, it's going to take some time. But then at the end, I got the remaining of the bearing hot, really hot. And then once I got it very, very hot, both of them, I went outside the round again. Went on the inside again, it was almost red. I then put water on the inside first, and I literally heard it pop. And you see where it is right now. You couldn't ask for more than that. Now here's the problem with this particular part. Usually you could take like a hammer or something and just kind of pound it out. No, because the housing is actually, it won't allow you to. So there's really no real way to do it without using heat. At least no way that I would want to do it. So I'm going to finish taking it out with like a pair of pliers, and then we'll install the new one. There we go. So now, I'm not going to do it, or I'm not going to film it because there's going to be rattling everywhere. But you put the bearing in like so. This isn't hot, by the way. You shouldn't have it hot because this is sealed and it's plastic or rubber. By taking like a 24mm socket, and that fits on the outside pretty good. And at that point, I'm just going to pound it in until it gets flush. That's how the other one was. That's how I'm going to do with this one. And then we'll install. And there it is. 24 is a hair too big. I went down to 22. But how you never want to hit the inside, or you never, let me explain. A bearing's going to have a press fit no matter what. So the area that you're going to be fitting is where you need to hit it. So if it's going to be pressed in the center, then you need to find a way to do that. These are the easy ones because it's being pressed around the outside. So you never, ever, ever want to hit on the center when doing it like this. Otherwise, you're going to ruin it. You can tell if you ruined it because when you try to spin it, it will be chunky or not spin at all or grindy. This is nice and smooth. I don't feel anything wrong. So we're good to go. Now, here's a note. You're not going to see a whole lot because I can't see a whole lot either. There is a flat side to this. That flat side corresponds with the flat side in the mower. So you're going to try to install it, and it's going to be kind of difficult if you don't pay attention to that, because what will end up happening is you'll just end up hitting it or swearing at it and trying to figure out what exactly is going on, and then all of a sudden it will just kind of slip in because you moved it in just the right area. So be mindful of that. So let's go ahead, and the unfortunate part about this is you're not going to see anything because I don't want to go through the process of ruining this bearing, taking it off. So gonna attempt to do it on the outside. We might have to, this is not how you put it on, by the way, but we might have to clean up the, yeah. I'm going to take like a wire brush. I'm going to clean the surface on this because it looks like it's a little dirty, and it's going to cause a little bit too much resistance for my liking. There's two reasons why we don't want to do that. One, you can damage the transmission. This is not a cheap transmission, by the way, so you never, ever, ever, ever want to do that. And two, you're going to damage the bearing you just installed. Yet again. You don't want to hit the inside of it under any circumstances. And while you're not hitting the inside of it per se, the inside of it's going to be taking the force of you smashing it in there. So don't do that. Right now we're stuck on the different part of the mower. What are we stuck on now? I might have to do a little bit more cleaning. I found the little piece. It's actually on the end of the transmission. It came off when I took off the piece. So we need to shove that in first. So this would be so much easier without this stupid plastic piece in the way. Sorry, like I said, you can't see anything, I can't really see anything. Kind of going off field here right now. I'm going to just push that on. Be real careful. Gonna maybe get some WD-40, you know, stuff like that. And there we go. So, we have our little spacer there. And our gear. Everything spins nice and freely. We need our little clip with pliers, and we should be on the road to success. I was very happy with how that quenching process worked. I was not looking forward to it, just say that. So, let's move you a little bit further out of the way. Put the wheel on. I'm going to kind of press the bearing in a little bit here. There we go. I wish I could say that's an uncommon occurrence, but it's not. It's fairly common for that to happen. And it's also fairly common for, because it's already stuck, to cause us problems here. Push it a little further. Now this spot doesn't really matter if you hit it, but you also don't want to hit the end of it, so I'm going to do the same thing. See what exactly is causing our holdup here. It's not the gear. The gear is meshing pretty well. I see it moving. I'm going to work on that, just kind of pushing on and see if I can get it snapping. And there we have it. So, put everything back together. I'm going to, before I put the clip on, no, I probably should put the clip on now. I'm going to put the clips on. I can't see anything because it's going to be pretty much nothing, so I don't think you're going to be able to see anything. But I'm going to put those clips on. They just go on the outside of the little piece like I mentioned, and that's it. And then we will put this on the ground and make sure everything is working appropriately. I didn't put the clips on yet because I kind of want to make sure the transmission survived. Like I said, this is a pretty robust transmission, but whenever you start pulling on everything and pushing on it, there's a chance that you can ruin something. I don't think I did because I was very, very gentle, but there's always that possibility. So it's getting me a little paranoid on that. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to, like I can already kind of tell that there's a few things that need to be realigned, but yeah, one side's a little different than the other, but that's fine. Turn it on. No, I think it's fine. So I'm gonna have to tip it over on its side, put the clips back on. That's gonna take a couple minutes. Not very hard, you can do, and then put the cover back on. In fact, I can just do the cover now. The amazing part about this cover, so there's no clips, there's no nothing. There's like the little place you just like kind of shove it in, and that's it. And at that moment, we are done. I will probably spend a little bit more time off camera just making sure. I need to fiddle with that. But anyway, I need to make sure that everything is good to go. But if you're noticing an odd crunching noise, this could be the problem with the commercial Toro. The owner thought it had something to do with the clutch. It has nothing to do with the clutch. The clutch, with the cover off, I saw into the clutch. Works perfectly fine. He just heard a weird noise and assumed it was the clutch. It's not. Obviously, those wheels were pretty nasty. I need to, like I said, walk around with it. I might even mow my front yard with it just to make sure. But other than that, we should be good to go. I didn't buy the OEM ones. I actually went to a hardware store and bought 4 bearings because I figured why not. I might be doing this again in the future because yeah, I like to carry extra parts when common parts, and this is a machine that I will see, at least a style machine, pretty routinely. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure a lot of them probably need it, and people don't even notice it. Bearings, I think, were $6 each. There was a lighter duty version and there's a heavier duty version. I got the heavy duty version because this is a commercial unit. And the lighter one actually came in, I think it was like $3 each. So this should be a pretty good bearing. I'm going to go ahead and leave you at that. Follow me on Instagram at SmallEngine101. If I could see, keep watching. Definitely subscribe. If you have any questions, definitely leave a comment. If this helped you out at all, put a thumbs up because that helps me out as well. Excuse me. Put a thumbs up because that helps me out as well. And I'll catch you on the next one. You have a good night.